everyone. So this is going to be today's build on the SMME Build 100, where we're going to be doing an app a day. So essentially, we're going to be covering 100 apps. Now, this might sound like it's a lot of work, but technically it's not. As long as you've got your code base going. So that's what we're going to be doing over the coming couple of weeks. We're going to be working on the code base and then just expanding on it. In addition to that, we'll also cover a little bit more um, around some of the apps that we'll be building, going over some design patterns. We'll also be going over some design methodology. But the general idea is that what I would like is for everyone to build along with me. And the theory is if I build 100 apps, uh, then you as followers on the channel, if you build 100 apps, that generally means that we will have built a good few. If we get at least 10 people who will be coding along and then also do 100 apps over the course of this 100 days, we will have 1,000 new apps for township businesses, getting them online, getting them out there, and that's what we essentially are trying to do. So it might seem like it's an SME build 100, but it's an SME build much more than that. We're going to be going pretty quickly. Most of these apps are going to be flash in the pan, nothing fancy, just straight up getting something out there that is going to be able to be used by a business. That is essentially what we want to do, and also more importantly, we're going to try and make sure that every single one of the businesses that we are building an app for, we're going to do just a short little profile about them, just so that people get to know exactly um, what they're about. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing in today's SME Build 100. And I've got a really cool guest along with me, who will just be going through in terms of how how do we go about starting this kind of a build. In addition to that, we'll also be trying to cover um, quite a lot of ground in terms of the different languages that we'll be using. I'm going to be using languages that I'm familiar with, so you might see a lot of repetition. I might try out some new things, but that will be much later on if we are like literally getting a little bit bored and we have kind of covered absolutely everything that we can about a particular technology. But today, we're just going to be going into it. Um, so initially, I tried to start this thing last week. It didn't work out because we live in South Africa and there's something called load shedding. So we were sitting with darkness for huge periods. But you know, this week we're gonna start it off. We're not gonna be doing any build along at the same time. Um, there will be a repository. There is the GitHub repo that I'll be able to post in the comments section, in the description as well. For those of you watching on YouTube, for those of you who are on um, Ulwazi, you'll be able to then actually go into the code along as well. Um, Building this entire thing takes you about 3 hours, 3 hours roughly, and that is just straight line for line for line for line for line. But you'll be able to do it in a lot longer or a lot less depending on how familiar you are. The number of times that we'll repeat it as well will also allow you to then just copy paste code that you've written, and you won't have to be starting all the way from the very beginning. In fact, let me just take this moment to just welcome Zami. Hey, Zed.
Hey, Andile.
There we go. I am.
Hey, how's it, man?
I can't complain. I could, but complaining doesn't help, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, Zed, have you ever heard of Max Bunny?
No.
Okay, so Max Bunny is this place in Orlando East. They make
Okay.
the most amazing kotas. Like, just straight up, if you were to go into Twitter and you were to take a picture of ikota that you have, right? And
Mm-hmm.
people who know, they'll immediately ask you, is that Max Bunny? Because there's just a certain look that it has. There's a certain taste that it has as well. And to think that the man, there's like a little story that he did. He's got like a YouTube video where they interviewed him, and he started this entire business out of 450 rands. Right now, there is. Last time I went to Orlando, I think there's six Marks Bunny Chow outlets in Orlando, but the man does not have an online presence at all, like none.
Okay. So nice to know of such joints. I never knew about it. It's nice to know of such joints. Although social media presence is key. I really wish he had that. At this point, I would actually be looking him up.
Right? And that is essentially what I'm trying to do, where we're trying to get businesses that have, even if it's like just a social media account, but even the ones that don't have, we want to at least get them running like with the big boys, where they're basically an established business and they've got an online presence. They're not just selling to their small corner of the earth, they're selling to everyone. Because you'd agree with me, like selling online allows you to sell to pretty much everyone, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why we're going to be going ahead and building Max Mahudi his own app. It's going to be a mobile app. So maybe let me
Okay.
just go through how we're going to build it. So this is Max Bunny. This is literally the line that you will see every single time you go there. It is chock a block. All right. Um, you can
Are you
find
sharing your
it.
screen?
Yeah.
Sorry to
Let me actually share my screen so that you can also see.
please.
There we go. So this is Max Bunny, right? And in fact, let me just go back so you can get to see the man. So this is the video that you can find on him on YouTube. Some European guy came over and they interviewed him. And I don't want to lie to you. I don't know if Ntate Max is still hands-on in the business. But I know that Ntate Max is still pretty much um, his concept, his idea, the prices that you see over here are pretty much still the same. I think maybe they've gone up by like 2 rands, and this interview was done in like 2017.
Okay.
They've only gone up by like 2 rands. He's keeping his costs low. The quality has not degraded at any point. He still serves some of the best bunny chows that you can find. Ekas.
All right.
So for this man, we're going to be building him a mobile app, right? Now, you can find him on Google. If you Google him, you can find, but you can't really do anything more than that. You can see where they are, and you can see kind of what the gota looks like. Like I said, it's just that white plastic, episinyana, all of those things jam packed into there, and
I
the
mean, hey, it's not
recipe.
really that much, hey? But then
Right?
it is something.
Yeah. So
Yeah. But and sorry to cut you off,
yeah, go ahead.
Andile. One other thing. So Mark Spanish is not even on Facebook or Instagram,
No.
so you can only find them on Google. Why
And
when you
yeah, that's it. You can only find them on Google, but even then, you can't even get like contact details. So this is pretty much it. If you look Max Bunny Chow, you'll find it on Google. You'll know where it is,
Mhm.
but you won't be able to do anything else,
That's too bad, hey?
right? So I don't know. Like there's lots of businesses that are like this that
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that everybody's gonna be like, oh, let me actually go into my hood and actually see. And if you can just find like one or two that you'll be using or building along with over the next 100 days, you would literally be helping out just one entrepreneur who's either maybe a startup or is looking to go to the next level and
Yeah,
they don't know how to. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
So let's actually look into what we're going to be doing to create this build, right?
Okay.
So essentially, we're going to be looking at Mark's Bunny Chow. Um, Decent footprint in the township. As I said, they've got 6 outlets. The last time I checked, and they are all pretty much exactly the same. You won't be going to one and be like, "Ah, this tastes different to the other one." They all taste exactly the same. And in addition to that, you will almost guarantee that there is a line because that's just how it is. You can't order ahead unless you're a phoner, and you have to hope that somebody's there who's going to pick up the phone. 9 times out of 10, you might get lucky, you might not get lucky. But essentially, what we're trying to do is trying to make sure that if I'm in Alberton, I want to go Ekasi and make sure that by the time I get there, I'm not going to be waiting in that long ass line. All I have to do is just literally go onto my app, his app specifically with their branding, and I'll be able to then get everything that I want in terms of ikota that I want to get. But we're going to be doing 2 builds. All right. So the first build is going to be essentially this. We're going to be using Xamarin um, as the tool because it's cross-platform. So essentially, we'll be able to build for Android and iOS, which is a really cool thing. And the other thing about using Xamarin is that you're able to then use some of the native um, features within a Xamarin within an app. So you don't necessarily have to be restricted to, oh no, I can't use it. It's not native. Xamarin does build native for iOS and for Android, which is really cool. We'll also be hosting the database on Firebase, and we'll be using a real-time database. So the one thing about this is that we're trying to make sure that we keep costs as low as possible, right? Because everybody's going to be going along with this. Xamarin is free. You don't have to pay anything to then download the package. It's included in your Visual Studio. And all you would need is just an emulator. And you then have Firebase, which is also free. So you can then just deploy your database there, and everything will be working just fine. So that's essentially the build. Those are the tools that we're going to be using, and it is going to be very, very easy for you to then just build along. Yeah? All
All right.
right, cool. So let's maybe get into how this build is going to look. Um, Now, I've previously got Visual Studio open, and I'm just going to go off and then open the app. Like I said, I had to develop this in the dark, so it's already half done. It's half done.
Yeah, I can see. So I'm using Visual Studio Code. Is that gonna be fine?
Yeah, you can use Visual Studio Code. I don't think there should be much of a problem. It's just that a lot of the native controls that you would get in Visual Studio, you won't be able to then get
Yeah, I guess as
in.
much.
Yeah, and the other thing, of course, you would also have to be using CLI, which, wow, yeah, trying to create for Xamarin and using CLI is gonna be a nightmare. But you would be able to then go along. But I think maybe for this one, um, it might just be better that we just showcase what the app is going to look like, and then the code along will then be available using GitHub.
Okay, I get you now.
Yeah, essentially we're building 2 apps as well, so that's going to be something that we just need to be mindful of. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's just have a quick look and see how the app actually looks. So I'm going to try and run it. Hopefully it doesn't bomb because it can bomb horribly.
Let's see how
But
it turns out.
yeah, let's hope. I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh,
Fingers crossed.
right. And I'm hoping that the demo gods don't just do what they normally do, which is just like get the whole thing to just like literally blow up in our faces. But
You know how
essentially,
they wait till you have to make a presentation.
bruh, like in the middle of a presentation, you're sitting there, you're like, yeah, it worked. The last time I remember, it worked. Meanwhile, It's not working right now. So I'm running it right now and let's see how it actually goes off, yeah?